Hey, what's going on, toy heads? Jason here with ToyBot.
Oh, hail ToyBot!
Finally getting around to shooting some sort of room tour video. Now that it's 2025, and I realized I never shot any sort of room tour video for 2024. One main reason being that I'm actually still not finished unpacking this room and getting things organized, but I do basically have half of it organized, pretty much, and that's what this tour is going to be about. So consider this a part one, or whatever. Who knows if a part two will come out anytime soon. I am trying to get as much work done as I can on this to get the room done by end of February, because that marks the 1-year anniversary of moving into the new house. But without further ado, we're just going to get right into it. So the first display that I got together and unpacked last year was the turtle display. I know my main focus is typically Masters of the Universe, but that is going to be such a big section that I decided to start with smaller sections first. So up top here we have a mixture of, we got some different variations on Donatello, some vintage pieces mixed in with mostly modern items here, Hot Wheels, Reaction. There's a little bit of vintage though. We got this pretty cool clock that my wife picked up for me from Ross, and we'll go down the slide here first. These are some of the Reaction figures, these spinning layered Reaction figures. Down here at the bottom, you can see I've got my stuffed raft, actually 2 stuffed rafts if you count my Santa raft. So eventually I'm thinking about getting maybe a little couch or chair in here where my plushies might be hanging out. But since we're down here, let's kick it. Take a look at this is the Mutant Mayhem stuff, or basically everything based in the Mutant Mayhem universe. These figures, this is what I've got anyways. I did manage to score the sewer lair, the new sewer lair. Managed to score it from Walmart for when it was on sale for like $15. Still haven't figured out how I'm going to work it into the collection. So that might not happen until part 3 of the video. But so anyways, here's some of the modern turtle figures. We've got basically the Super 7 Ultimates, and then a few of the Archie series from NECA. Really dig this Mondo Gecko, and he looks pretty good next to the Genghis Frog. And Genghis Frog looks a little bit bigger than him. We got Ray Fillet back there, and then the Slash over there. These guys, I think I am eventually just going to go ahead and pop them out of their packages. It'll take up a little bit less real estate on the shelf in case I do decide to delve into more. And next I'm going to kind of move up to, this shelf is basically just different iterations of the 4 brothers that I have, ranging from the Movie Star Turtles. Now those are reissues that I picked up like last year, the year before, but the 2003 base Turtles, or some Turtles, the figures I picked up, those aren't reissue. I picked those actually up from a toy shop in Wenatchee, Washington, Time Capsule. So shout out Time Capsule. And then there's just the vintage Turtles there that I pieced and put together when I started my turtle collection. And here in the front I've got the sketch turtles. I might actually move them back behind since they're a little bit taller. Might put the vintage in front. But overall, yeah, this is and there's a few odd and ends squeezed there. Some old VHS and a movie Splinter and 2003 Shredder. That brings us up to the next shelf, which is basically a best action shelf. Combination of basically mainly cartoon based turtles, because there's no way I'm going to pay the NECA prices for the Toon Turtles, even though those NECA Toon Turtles are amazing. I just decided I don't need to spend that kind of money, and these best action, while obviously not the best figures, I feel like they give me a decent representation of the cartoon series. Oh, looks like Shredder fell down there. Tends to happen. That is one of my biggest beefs with this figure, is that, well, this lack of stability and the lack of scale with between the Shredder, how much smaller the Shredder is than the Turtles. And I ended up getting the Toka and Razar from Roscon. And that brings us up to the actual vintage shelf. So these are what I have for the vintage TMNT. Pretty much these are all the figures that I want to have in my collection. There might be one or two more that I can think of off the top of my head. Like I have been meaning to get a vintage Wingnut and Screw Loose, try to get that complete, and then probably Leatherhead and Rat King. Gotta get them squeezed in here. But other than those guys, I'm not really, I'm not really chasing any grails per se. Not trying to get a vintage scratch. That's, yeah, I'm not gonna spend the money on NECA Toon Turtles. I'm definitely not spending kind of money that scratch goes for. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. A couple of the Jim Lee Turtles. I would like to get my hands on the Donnie. So hopefully one of the future toy shows I can make that happen. But yeah, for now, this is the Donnie collection. Even kind of leaks up to a little bit of here. And who knows, this could be rearranged in the coming months. But so on the subject of turtles, we kind of brings us over to this grid wall where I've got some pegs attached. So we've got the Sewer Heroes. These are the repros from Walmart. Then I've got Turtle and Tordak, Toy Snobs. Real fun figures. I decided I want to keep them on card. I love the card art, and definitely love to support artistic takes on artistic mashups, I guess you could say. And now that we've got the actual Turtles of Grayskull line officially from Mattel, well, it's still cool to have these. Coming down here, got a vintage 90s Swamp Thing figure on card, and the 8-bit zombie Thrashor, the Skeletor colored variant. And I actually also have a glow-in-the-dark Thrashor. Got him next to my Transforming He-Man from Super 7. Fun figure. Next to them, I've got the glow-in-the-dark Creature from the Black Lagoon, the NECA. It's on the retro style card back. But you might notice, so these guys are all glow-in-the-dark figures, and that's because I've got them down here because I sort of have this glow-in-the-dark section here where I've got all my glow-in-the-dark figures hanging out. A little mishmash. Hopefully continuing to add to it. It's kind of an idea I got from Pack Rat Studios. Actually, let's see here. Let's see what they look like with the lights off. All right. You can see my guys. I've got my black light going, running on them right now. to really help enhance that glow. Some of them glow better than others, as you can see. Kind of a fun thing to do, fun thing to have. Yeah, so that. I'm going to get the light switch back on now. All right, so yeah, hoping to add to that. Going back to the grid wall next to creature, we've actually got figure I've had quite a long time. It's a little damaged, but it's a Zorak from Space Ghost Coast to Coast. I'm still kicking myself for never just picking up the standard Space Ghost figure. But let's see. Going up from there, we've got my autographed Snake Eyes, 25th anniversary Snake Eyes, autographed by Larry Hama. And next to that, we've got my Super 7 TV, Filmation-based Skeletor, signed by Skeletor himself, Alan Oppenheimer. Above those guys, some DC figures, DC Comics superheroes figures. If you've seen any of my past videos on my pickups when I got these, I'm pretty mentioned these were figures I wanted as a kid. Saved up some money to get them, between like allowance or birthday money, and finally went back to get them, and no longer were there. And these things had been there for at the store, I remember, for a long time, years. Well, maybe it seemed like years since I was a kid. So we're gonna scan down here. We got my little CRT TV and VHS. Got some turtles going on right now, just to kind of fit with the theme. I also got a little DVD player hooked up so I can play my G.I. Joe and Motu DVDs. But up top here, I just got a kind of just like a mixture of random figures, little minifigs, and that newer Skeletor pop. Some vintage troll figures, just Godzilla, just random things. So this will probably change each time you see a video in here where I happen to shoot that, it'll probably be different. Then I've got Tom Servo and Crow down here. And down below, if we go down below, the first cube is right now. It's where I've got my Super NES, and that's the DVD player I was talking about. Just my little portion of my robot collection. Just worked in some RoboForce, and there's that newer Optimus Prime. It's kind of based on the vintage toy, Game Boy Color with the camera. Just sort of, I'm not, this is still a work in progress. Down here, right now there's just some comics. Eventually, I think that this cube down here will be, I'll move more of my media, like the VHS and DVDs, because I've got my VHS drawer right here. I've got some movies, but I'll have to fit more just all around there. Up here, no, this is a newer thing I put together just within the last week or so. It's the Masters of the Universe Origins cartoon collection, and these are the figures I've got from that collection so far. I've got Hordak on order as well as Catra. Pretty much this is what I'm going to keep it to. I think I'm planning on getting the Prince Adam Cringer 2-pack. I'm just kind of waiting for that maybe to go on sale. I mean, I feel it's fully worth the $29.99, I guess. I'm just hoping to pick up on a deal since I noticed it's sitting on the pegs at Target. So that is, that's that for now. Like I said, this still needs to be organized a bit better. So we're gonna make our way up top again, and we're coming over to basically what I would call like my Dungeons and Dragons fantasy section here. So I've got some old dragons and dungeon magazines here. Yeah, that's that modern Crystar figure, but some of the old Imperial dragons, you know, as well as, you know, the Forgotten Heroes of the Sewers, Donnie and the Leo. I wouldn't mind getting my hands on a couple of the other ones, like the, I think was it, their Bebop and Rocksteady. But again, if I guess those would be the Grail pieces I'd want to get, just because they're fantasy based, and again, a lot of my stuff I like is fantasy. Random bone dragon I got during Halloween one year. I love when those things come out. They work well with different scales. Coming down here, we got you notice in the back there some of my actual Dungeons and Dragons comics from, actually, this one is one I had as a kid, and the one over here was one I think I picked up at a toy show recently, but last year or the year before last. But we got Displacer Beast, got the Beholder, an Owl Bear, and this is just a random dragon. What's from that company? You can get them. You can pick them up from Fred Meyer. This was like my daughter's, but she used to be kind of into dragons, so I'd get her dragons, and this is one of the ones that survived and still has his wings. The other ones, their wings went missing. But let's go down to this shelf here. Now this is kind of a smorgasbord right now. This has got a lot of, so in the back I've got the Reaction Dungeons and Dragons figures. Those are kind of lining the back there. But in front of those guys, we've got actual vintage Dungeons and Dragons figures. Got an Otherworld figure in there. And another, this dragon is, again, one of those dragons you think you can get from like Fred Meyer or something. Random little Chinosaurs in here too, you might notice. But right here in the front, I've got some those Glyos figures. These are the more recent ones that I want to say, I'm blanking on the guy's name right now, so I apologize. I'll drop the name on the screen here, but he put out these Motu based ones, and then actually this Last Ronin I picked up from another site, and it's a site I've picked up other figures from them as well, and I'm also blanking on their name, so I will drop their name there. Reaction figure, some old Spellfire cards. I think I bought a deck back in the 90s before my group of friends decided that, oh, we were moving on to Magic the Gathering. Like, Spellfire was the game for a hot minute, and finally I saved up. I bought myself a deck so I could play with my own deck, and then go over to play, and they're like, oh no, we're playing Magic the Gathering now. I'm like, so actually, just out of principle, I refused to buy Magic cards for like, I don't know, a while, probably just a couple months. But then I actually ended up starting to play Magic the Gathering because my dad actually started playing it. He had a friend, and him and his friend started playing it, and so I started playing it too. And then I ended up having my own deck to bring. So then I ended up playing with my buddies. Anyways, these are the Hasbro Dungeons and Dragons cartoon series figures. I'm gonna do a little something else with this shelf. I don't know. Figures are falling over. I gotta get some stands or something for them. And down here in front, I picked up some of the Lego minifigures. I'm not really, Legos is not a big part of my collection, but you're gonna give me like Mind Flayer and some other cool characters from Dungeons and Dragons. Then kind of hard to say no to that. Coming down to the next shelf, we've got the NECA Dungeons and Dragons figures, which are just really amazing figures. do have a Mythic Legions, Purplore, got him just worked in there. Back in the back, got a couple skeletons. One of them's like a boss fight skeleton, and the other is the Fwoosh skeleton that I waited, I think, about a year and a half. I had that guy in pre-order. Finally got it. Freaking awesome skeleton, though. Worth the wait, I think. I'm hoping to, eventually get around and get some photos, better photos of the skeleton, but yeah, this is sort of like, yeah, a Dungeons & Dragons display going on here. And then very bottom shelf is just a combination of actual, well, Dungeons & Dragons, the advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd edition books that I had in the 90s that I actually played. I did buy a starter set for the 5th edition to kind of look to see how rules have changed. Something I've been thinking about getting back into eventually. It was something I always wanted to come back to when I got older, maybe when I retire, but I don't know. I've been having that itch for some role-playing. And there's some of the books, some Dragonlance, Forgotten Realms, a bunch of these books. The Dragonlance books were mine from a teen. I read a bunch of them. The Forgotten Realms books, actually, I picked up a chunk of these from Value Village about 6 months ago. A really great deal. They're having a book sale, and they must happen to get a bunch of Forgotten Realms books in, so pick those up. Okay, so next shelf we're gonna go up to, scanning back up, is the fantasy. Again, kind of continues and kind of bleeds over, because I have like the Bat Cave that is the Primal Age stuff. So I've got my Primal Age Batman here, and I've got some things mixed in, like the Joker Dragon. You come over here, I've got a Gandalf figure that I've had for like 20 years since I look at Tower. Got that Superman. We got Deadpool here hanging out front here, using Kirby's magic, his pencil tablet to rewrite my toy multiverse. So you never know what kind of shenanigans he's gonna get into. But here's that Batman, and here's the Nightfall Batman, which is hashtag my Batman. 90s Batman, that's or the 80s Batman, like that's that classic Batman. Like that's my Batman. So with this shelf, come down here, we've got basically a lot of those Primal Age figures, DC based, and then a little bit of the Savage World stuff mixed in. I don't know if you probably noticed there was a Freddy up top next to the Joker Dragon, and there's a Pinhead. Dabbled a little bit in those. But coming down here, this is kind of almost a diorama. Right here we've got basically the Bat Cave, and kind of use a display. Got a dinosaur in there, but basically, this is basically modern superpowers. I have a vintage Robin superpowers figure, Joker figure that I believe is from, actually, I think it's from the DC superheroes line from Toy Biz. But then I also have Doom and Kang from Secret Wars, just because they scale nice, and figured, for right now, why not? Having them pop in, they're traversing the multiverse, popping in, and for some reason popped into the Batcave. But I also have this Which Way book, which I actually had this as a kid. This is not my copy from when I was a kid, but my buddy, he hooked me up with it, did a trade with him on that, and managed to score that in a trade. Down below here, we've got the Batcopter thing here, some Funko Pops, and then a bunch of those little mini Keshi figures, put like in a skull, like a skull jar here. Not sure really if that's how I'm going to keep displaying those. That's what I decided to do for now. And then down below here is kind of a modern Batcave playset, got for super cheap from Amazon. But I don't know, I think this is going to don't think I'm gonna keep this display. I think things might be changing here. But for now, this is had some ideas, already changing the ideas, but that's what happens when you sit on things for months and you don't get your toy room put together. Start having other ideas for things, so this might change. This actually might. I have some Marvel stuff. Actually, quick sneak peek. This is all my vintage Marvel toy biz. This is stuff I collected as a kid, middle school, but I'm thinking actually, because this was going to be kind of a Marvel thing, but I'm thinking about moving that over here, trying to get another shelf into here, and this would just be then a DC Marvel thing. And down at the bottom here for right now, just a bunch of books, Masters Universe, some other role-playing books, some trade paperbacks, that sort of stuff. The old mini comics, little collection of the old mini comics from Masters Universe. And I think really the final thing I'm going to touch on today is Spidey Corner. So since I'm down here on the ground, you can kind of see it. There is a Spider-Man garbage can that I've had for quite a while. Had it for about 15 years. And we make our way up to some Funko Pops, some Spidey variants. You got the Doppelganger, you got the Spirit Rider, a few other Pops here, and then we got the Venom dinosaur, as well as this Spidey dinosaur. And we'll work our way up to, and this is going to be a combination of modern and vintage. It's really hard. I need to get some better light back here. Can't really see, but there is, yeah, wow. Yep, I'm gonna need to be able to put some light on it, but there's some vintage figures back here as well. Let's see. Yeah, Spidey Corner is pretty dark right now, so I am going to have to try to light it a bit better. It's a lot. Some of these figures are, things I had as a kid and things I've picked up over the past couple years, either from toy shows or from vintage stuff or modern things. Come back up. Got the Scarlet Spider. And really, the only thing I have left that I really care to get for my Spidey collection is a modern 6-inch Spider-Man figure, and I've got an idea of which one I want to get. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. Found a pretty sweet deal online. Actually, you know what? While we're up here, I will do one more section here. Some of this is still a work in progress, but basically over here I've got another grid wall, and up top I've got my carded modern superpowers figures. I think the idea is what I'll do is eventually kind of go through and rotate who's on the front, but I kind of like the idea of having like a rack, and just having carded stuff on it, kind of give a little bit of the toy store vibe. So that's kind of what I'm doing there. And then not only do I have the superpowers, but if you go down lower, I've got the Marvel Legends Retro, and I've been collecting these here when I can find them. I can pick them up for on the cheap from Ross, or if I find them on Amazon on the cheap. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. And this is kind of a disaster right now. I've got some mishmash of some 3 3/4 figures and some of the new Epic Heroes. I've got and some random reaction, but gotta get this organized, figure out what I'm doing with that. But I think that'll come once I organize that 90s Toy Biz shelf. But yeah, guys, that is pretty much where I'm at right now. I'd show you the rest. There are other sections of the room that are a little more put together, but they're not all put together, so don't want to quite show them yet. You actually see if you look up above there, I'm working on some carded, displaying some carded stuff above the window. But yeah, so I appreciate you guys, you know, sticking around this long. If you guys haven't got bored and left, I appreciate you sticking around, checking out this first glimpse into my now toy room. See, zoom out a little bit there, and yeah, this is it in all its glory, or at least this half of the room. It's come together. I mean, like I said, I do enjoy coming here and staring at what I've got up now, which sometimes doesn't help when I am trying to get other stuff unpacked or unboxing new figures I've got. But so anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this look at my collection, and I hope to show you more once I get the rest of the room put together. I hope to do, you know, maybe an even more in-depth tour, but this is combination toy room / studio, so this is where I'd be filming, you know, unboxing videos and other videos for like my art channel and stuff as well. So, but if you drop a comment, let me know if there's anything you liked about the room or didn't like about the room. Share your thoughts, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. All right. Till next time, toy heads. All hail ToyBot.
Big boy. Meow.